All right, we are live. Well, I think we are. Are we? Can you guys hear me? Are we good? Is the volume fine? Should I turn it up? What is happening? What is going down, everybody? How are you guys doing? All right, let me just share this real quick. Awesome, wonderful. Great to see you guys. Yep, I'm doing fine, thank you. And I hope you guys are doing wonderful as well. Yeah, it's good to see everyone here in the chat. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, we're ready for some news. Okay, all right. News you're going to get. All right, let me just share this real quick. Yep, all right. It's looking good. You guys can hear me okay, right? Is this volume good? Are we good? Yep. All right. Can we start? All right, awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you so much. This is our live stream for Anime Matsuri 2026. It's our 20th anniversary. It's happening July the 23rd through the 26th, right here in Houston, Texas. Thank you for joining me. I'm John Lee. Nice to meet everybody. I'm the convention director. So I'm responsible for, a lot of the operations for the convention. And this year, as I mentioned in the live stream, the last one, my main responsibility, I made it my main responsibility to make the convention experience better, more affordable. Save you guys money where you don't need to be paying high prices. That is the deal this year. And for the past few months, I went out of my way to make this happen. And I'm very happy to do it too. Very, very happy to do it. Because, you guys deserve it. Once upon a time, conventions were much more affordable. When you go to conventions, you talk about everything else other than how expensive it was. No one cared about, prices or anything because everything was affordable. But now, these days, yeah, things have gotten a little out of hands, I would say. And even though it's, I guess there's many organizers that don't want to talk about this, but I think it should be talked about. I think it's important. It's important because if we don't talk about it, then we're not going to do anything about it. And if we don't, then the prices are just going to keep going up. And if everything is so expensive, it changes the actual experience of the convention. That is my plan. Yeah, yeah, yep, yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. Bubba says, yeah, we barely afford rent and food right now, and that's right. and that's pretty accurate. So, the one of the things that we could do is at least make the things that we love, anime conventions, more affordable. It makes no sense why they should be expensive. Everybody should come and have fun with us. Anime shouldn't be this expensive. Well, we appreciate you guys anyway. Okay. Um, First things first. Let's talk about hotels. So if you go on the website, if you click on hotels, book hotels at the top right there. The page is it's password protected. We were testing out some stuff earlier. Um, you guys can see. So last time I told you guys, um, I gave you guys a scoop behind the scenes. What was going on with hotels and why it was taking so long. Basically, the long story short, we wanted to make sure that we get the best rates possible. And until we got those rates, we refused to sign the contracts. So let's, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to open up this link and hold on. And you guys can see what I am talking about. All right. Let's see now. Okay. All right. So if you refresh that link, the link is now live for everyone. And right now, as of now, there are 3 hotels on here. There's the Marriott Marquis Houston. This is probably like one of the most, if not the most expensive hotel in Houston. And we use this hotel every year. And this year we got the room rates down to $189. I don't remember the last time the rooms were that price. Last year they were $239. And this year they start at $189. This is amazing. This hotel is pretty amazing too. It has the lazy river and it's really new. So yeah, you can check that out. We have the Cambria, which is just right there, right around the corner from the convention center, and the Spring Hill Suites, which is also around the corner. Um, Now, for anyone, I know one of the first things people are going to ask. Wait a minute, just make sure. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Is it still giving you the password? Mm, okay, all right, yeah, all right, okay. I was just making sure that it works. So, um, the I guess a question people might have is, where's the Hilton? Well, the Hilton is going to come here in this, right, the space on the right of the Marriott Marquis. In this space, we haven't put it up yet because we haven't agreed to the requested pricing. So as soon as that's done, it'll go up. But it should be more affordable, or it should be cheaper, hopefully, because right now it isn't. And then there's the what's one across from the Hilton Americas again? Embassy Suites. Yeah, that's gonna go up probably tomorrow. I think the Embassy Suites is 189. Starts at 189, and the Embassy Suites also comes. That one comes with breakfast. It's right across from the Hilton Americas. Yeah. Um, okay, so just let's answer basic questions. What is the point of the hotel block, right? So the hotel block, the Anime Matsuri hotel block, is what we have contracted, like under Anime Matsuri, and everybody that gets a room is sort of like the city of Houston sees that, okay, this person is renting a room for Anime Matsuri, and the more people that rent rooms, I guess the more concessions we get from the city, which is how they track the performance of our events. They don't track the performance by the attendees. The amount of attendees is by the amount of hotel rooms, because the George R. Brown is owned by the city. So what we're doing, there's a couple of things. We want to make sure that you guys get the best deals and you're happy with everything, right? So we made sure we made these hotels as affordable as possible. Um, and number two is there is some incentives to being part of the block. So what we're gonna do, and you can see here, so we are actually raffling off 2 air tickets to Japan, to Tokyo. And what we're going to do is just take all of the reservations and, pick out one lucky person, and that person gets a pair of air tickets, return tickets to Tokyo and back. Yep. That's a pretty sweet deal. Um, the Cambria is also giving away a free weekend stay during the year. So if you are staying at the Cambria, they will also, pick a name out of the hat, and you'll get a voucher which you can do like a staycation or whatever at the weekend sometime later on in the year. And I guess you can work out the dates, which is pretty cool. At least you get something. We're also giving away 5 pairs of Anime Matsuri 2027 badges. Um, this is for raffle for the entire block, and the Marriott Marquis is also giving away like a room upgrade. So whatever room you have, you can be upgraded for free if you're staying at that hotel. They'll pick a name out of the hat, and people are gonna know all this prior to the convention. Um, okay. Do you think there's a random time or date when you think Hilton may nice contract price? Okay, just blah blah. Okay, so again, the Hilton. Maybe soon. Soon. We're almost there. We're almost there. I don't want to say a specific date because again, not everything depends on me. If it was up to me, this would have been done, 3 months ago. But sometimes you have to negotiate takes longer than you anticipate. But obviously, the convention is coming, so we want to make sure that we get this out there as soon as possible. But the Hilton should be added here pretty soon. We'll, again, just we'll let you guys know as soon as we are finalized, and then you guys will, you guys can go on there if that's what your preferred hotel is, then that's fine. We'll do everything we can to get it there as fast as possible. But anyway, the point here with all of this is, and maybe you might not see this, but the point is, for months we've been going back and forth trying to figure stuff out. Hotels have this habit of increasing prices every year, right? And the point is, we tried to just think about not just 2026 but 2027 and make sure that we can make these hotels as affordable as we can, also at the same time while making your stay as enjoyable as possible. That's the point, and giving back to you guys, which is why there is all of this stuff, and things are going to be added, more things. So we appreciate you guys just being part of the block. It means a lot to us, and we really, really appreciate it. Everyone that's part of this block is a big deal, and we don't take that for granted. So thank you very much for this. Yeah. Okay. So while that's going on, we're gonna, I guess tomorrow morning we're gonna, we'll announce this on social media. So if you guys want to book any of these hotels now, you can do this pretty soon. We'll announce it to the world in the morning. We'll blast it on social media and whatnot. So you have until then. I don't think, hopefully, none of it sells out, but or maybe they do. That's going to be a good thing. All right. So besides hotels, let's see, what announcements did we make? Let me go on our Instagram. Oh yeah, that's right. So we announced Ruben Langdon. You guys know who that is? Ruben Langdon. Yeah. I mean, I know people know Ruben Langdon for different things. I just, whenever I hear Ruben Langdon or even talk to him or see him, all I think about is Dante. Dante from Devil May Cry. That like he is that character. He did the voicing and the motion capture and everything. So um, and I know he's a professional, motion capture actor, and he's done a bunch of stuff. The last time he was at Anime Matsuri was, oh man, maybe a decade ago, maybe more than that. It was a while back, so we're pretty excited to have him at the convention. Um, this year, it's really awesome. And I know people where there's a couple of questions, I guess, on Instagram. People were asking, how much are his autographs and whatnot. I think it's $50. Um, I think most of the guests are 50. I don't think there's anyone more than $50, which, in my opinion, I think that's fine. That's a good price. Um, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're right. Yeah, he has done the Star Trek web series. Yep. Yeah, the most I paid. Yeah, we started. The most I paid was $80, and that was Kakashi's VA. That was last year, right? Yeah. Um. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Big C. Yeah. Vic also did the web series. Yeah. Yeah. They did the Star Trek thing. Oh yeah. Well, I think. Well, we announced Vic after the last live stream, right? Or was it before that? Probably after. Yeah. Uh, Vic has been to the convention every year for many years, and every year it's it's the same thing. As soon as he's announced, man, people come out of the woodwork, pitchforks, torches, everything. Wow, no, no, Vic, horrible person. He's gonna do this, he's gonna do that. Yeah, you go in the comment section, and we get messages. Oh, why are you inviting Vic? He did this and he did that thing. You know, the interesting thing is Vic is one of the most requested guests that we have. I don't know. Maybe it's because he doesn't go to that many conventions. I guess he's not invited to other conventions, or whatever the case is. But he gets requested a lot, and he has a lot of fans. He has very long lines. He's probably the most popular voice actor at the event. We've never had any issues or problems, and we've known him for a really long time. He generally, like, if you just go and observe his lines and you just watch the people in his lines, the people are just generally so happy. They're just standing there, very happy. They're just so happy when they're talking to him and the way he talks to them. And um, you know how do you argue with that? They people come at their own free will. They pay money. They come to these conventions because they want to be happy. They want to experience something great, and the things that they like are the things that they like, and they want to have fun. Yeah, they want to have fun, and they just want to have a good time, and they want to meet the people that they want to meet. I shouldn't be the one to dictate, and none of us. I don't think any convention. Well, hey, to each their own. But we shouldn't be the ones to dictate what the fans want, and who they want to meet. We ask the fans every year, hey, who do you want to see at the convention, right? It's not up to it's not up to sometimes they want to see the same fans, the same guests year after year. Hey, if there's requests for them, then yeah, whatever makes everyone happy. Yeah. Somebody says, I think Vic needs to cosplay as Homelander. Oh man. Wait, hold on a second. Yeah, yeah. I can see it. Somebody get Vic a Homelander costume and make him wear it. Yeah, yeah. I can totally see it. Yeah. Speaking of that, there's you guys have seen it. We've announced this the Vampire Night reunion at the event. So we have Vic, Mela, and Ezra. And we got contacted by a fourth cast member that wants to join us. It's coming from California somewhere. I think that's what it is. So there's probably going to be at least four of them, and it's going to be pretty cool. I know a few of the artists in the artist alley. We commissioned some artwork, so there's going to be some pretty cool artwork for Vampire Night posters. So it's going to be a good time. I think the last time the cast was together for Vampire Night was, I think they said, over a decade, something like that. I don't know. It a long time, basically. Yeah. Back anime in California, 2022. Oh, okay. For some reason, I don't know why I thought it was way before that. All three of them were there at Back Anime. Fang says, I want a sneak peek. Well, pretty soon. Yeah, well, there's a few guests, quite a few that we haven't announced yet, and quite a few that we're going to announce pretty soon. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think the plan is, they're putting together this really awesome backdrop, for like more immersive photo ops. If you want to take pictures with them, and they're planning some stuff. I think somebody's, maybe some of them, maybe one of them or all of them. Some of them they're gonna be cosplaying or something. They're gonna do interesting things to promote this reunion. They're pretty excited for it. Yeah, honestly, it would be cool to have different reunions for just different shows, but getting all the cast members together and them agreeing to be in the same place at the same time, it's tricky. Richard Epcar. Yep. Yep. He's, yeah. I haven't seen him in a while. Richard Epcar. I can't remember the last time. Someone said MechaCon. Man, that was a long time ago. Yeah, but yeah, yeah, he'll be there. So we've been seeing. There's been a lot of entries. I think our cosplay contest is almost full. Maybe it's full already. It's been a lot, and we've had a lot of there's been a lot of just chatter or just about cosplay in general. Just my feed is full of cosplay and just anime stuff. And today, I'm not sure what convention it is. It's some convention I saw. And this is not, this isn't out of the ordinary because some conventions, they make a list of like banned cosplays, like don't cosplay these characters or these people or these things or whatever at our event. And here's a list, and don't know any of that. And earlier today, I saw a, I saw a thing like don't cosplay ice or anything that suggests or looks like ice. Yeah. Oh man. I guess you know I don't know how that could be interpreted because what do you what, how do you what exactly is what kind of costumes fall in that category, what characters fall in that category. Yeah. And what exactly is the triggering mechanism here? I guess they people are going to they're going to say this because obviously people are very sensitive now, about ice. It's a thing now, right? So I don't think, man, I'm not imagining somebody's gonna come into the convention dressed exactly like ice, but they talk about characters that look like ice. So like, how do you get to choose, and how do you pick and choose what's what? And who's, I mean, who's doing who's enforcing this? Yeah. SWAT. Will cosplay contestants hear back even if they weren't accepted? You know what? I think so. I think so. I'll have this week, next couple of days, we will have more information on that. I gotta talk to cosplay team. Cosplay team has been on it. They've been, and speaking. You know what? Speaking of the cosplay team, we also announced Twin Capricorn today. Did you guys see that on on Instagram? Let's see. Luna the Wolf. Yeah, I hate that ice. Ruined a lot of stuff, to be honest. Imagine if I cosplay as John, a version of the Punisher, and and they mistaken it for some ice agent. I would hate it. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's what I mean. This is exactly what I'm talking about. So how does anybody know, like, where is that line drawn? Where if you guys remember, I don't know if you guys remember, but maybe this was before COVID, probably in 2018 or so. I can't remember. It was like 2018 or 2019, maybe 2018. There was one guy. I came into the convention, came into AM dressed up as some Nazi officer, and he said he was cosplaying from uh, what's Inglorious Bastards. And people flipped out. I'm talking about, and I remember talking to him, and I mean, he was very polite. I just told him, hey, can you just not? And he went to change. It was cool, but I'm saying, like, we were all over the internet. We were called Nazi Con. It was everywhere, right? Like like we had anything to do with that. I mean, people will dress up to the point of a convention, right? People are going to dress up in whatever it is they're going to dress up. And yes, some cosplays in poor taste, yes. Um, if you start making lists of what people can or cannot wear, then how long is that list going to be? I mean, of course, you expect people to just use common sense. I'm like, hey, like, I remember one time, I think this was in 2017, somebody dressed up as Jesus and somebody got offended, or it's, there's someone would get mad or offended at someone cosplaying something. I mean, that happens almost every year. So, there's some kind of negotiation here. We have to, okay, what do we do? I guess if it's just maybe if enough people complain, then we should say, hey, maybe you shouldn't wear that cosplay. Or is it enough for just one or two people to just complain? And we have to, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, um I like to put my faith more in the attendees. I try, if it was up to me. Now, not everything is up to me, but if it was up to me, I try to just, you know, not regulate that much if it was up to me. Let people express themselves one way or another. Yes, I understand we need to have rules. I get that, but I, put my I would put my faith in the attendees to to sort of like not police them so much. But I guess these days people get triggered really easily. Everything is so polarized, and I can understand why a convention would say, don't dress up as anything that reminds anyone of ICE. I get that. I just don't know how that's going to be controlled or enforced. Is someone actually going to do that? Like, I don't know. But yeah, this is Twin Capricorn cosplay, by the way. Really awesome. And yeah, they're part of the team. If you guys have seen them, you saw them last year. Really awesome and talented ladies. They're twins, obviously, and they'll be there this year. So you give it, probably give it this week, and I guess it really depends. It depends on them how I know there's an entire, it's a big team in the cosplay, so they'll decide when to start sending out emails and letting people know. But I think either way, whether you're picked or not, I think you will get an email. I think. Fang is asking, is there any rules on bringing a backdrop onto the stage for the cosplay contest for a quick switch? You know, uh, just message team cosplay. Like, you can find them on Instagram. It's AM like underscore team cosplay, or you can send an email to teamcosplay@animematuri.com and ask that question. I think they'll reply. But I don't know. I don't make the rules for the cosplay contest, but I think that should be fine. Yeah, yeah. The app will. We're working on the app. The app will launch. Mm-hmm. Soon. We'll let you know when the app launches. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we started asking if anyone's going to Comic Palooza this weekend. Uh, I think I went. Hmm, I went to Comic Palooza not last year, the year before. Wait, maybe I went last year. I can't remember. Maybe the year before, 2 years ago. Karaoke battle signups. I think. Wait, what is? So they just finished the preliminaries. So there's one more next month. So what is that? 5 plus 3. So there's 3 spots. So for the karaoke battle, by next month, 5 spots will be finalized. So then there's 3 more. The three would be at the convention, and those open early June, I think. Yeah. So you have there is 8 finalists. So by June, 5 will be decided because they're doing the karaoke battle competitions at the anime bar, and they've been doing these every month. So June would be the last month, and that would be 5. So then the last 3 would be just directly at AM, um, and it'll open early June. By the way, what was the? I'm just curious. What was the last Houston convention you guys or anybody attended, and how was it? Anime Verse in February. That's pretty nice. Anime Verse Fest. Anime it, Anime Verse Fest, is that same as Anime Verse? Oh, yeah, I guess it is. At the NRG, I don't like that venue. Well, why not? Yeah, we start. Why don't you like the NRG? I mean, I know why I don't like the NRG. I'm wondering why you don't like the NRG. Chemo Kawaii. I'm not sure I know that con. In Conroe? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, it's small. Wait. What do you mean it's small? Yeah, I mean, parking is a pain at the NRG, yeah, and it's expensive too. But, I mean, the NRG is not small. Oh, you mean the space they use was small? Because the NRG is pretty big, actually. Maybe they used the smaller space. Yeah. Oh, the space. Oh, yeah. I guess. As I said, the rent is getting expensive, so people have to cut back on space because those halls are expensive. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The schedule of events will be put up. Usually, the schedule comes out with the app. The app is the schedule, and that's where we have the schedule. We don't really have paper schedules or any kind of like. Usually, we tell people to just download the app. It's just much easier and cleaner, and it's live. So if things change, you get the changes live. Sometimes things get moved around. Sometimes things get canceled or added, or which is why we use the app for the schedule. So yeah, they had panels inside the dealer's room. Oh, you can't hear anything. Yeah, yeah, that's. Mm-hmm. There was a couple of years back where we had some panels. It wasn't that many of them. It was some. We had some panels in the exhibit hall, and man, people complained so much. Like they couldn't hear anything. It was too loud. Yeah, I can imagine. Are the Astros going to have a booth this year? I don't know about the Astros, but the Texans. are going to have a booth this year for sure. That I know. We'll see if the Astros show up. But I know the Texans are going to have a booth, and even though we haven't announced this yet, and this coming down the line, probably at the convention, you'll see the announcement. We're doing an anime night at the Texans versus Raiders game in August. Yeah. There's going to be anime night that game. We're going to turn that game into an anime party. Yeah, but more announcement on that later. Okay. All right, guys. Well, somebody's asking what update do you have on the hotels? Yeah, you can go on the website. If you weren't here earlier, you can go on the website and just click on the book hotels link, and you can. The link is now live, and everyone is welcome to book your hotels. If you are, there's currently 3 hotels on there. One, the Embassy Suites, will be added tomorrow, and the Hilton Americas at some point, hopefully sooner than later. Well, there you go. We made the hotels. We got the prices down as best as we could. We appreciate everybody being patient. Thank you for and supporting us and being part of the block, the hotel block. There's many perks, so thank you. All right, guys. I will see you guys very, very soon. Did they close the garage for the Hilton? Yeah, the Hilton garage right now is being demolished. Yeah, because they're building, they're expanding the George R. Brown. So, but anyway, more on that later. We'll discuss what's going on over there and where parking is and how affordable parking is going to look like. But as usual, I appreciate you guys being on the stream. And I'll see you guys later on this week. Okay? Thank you. Peace. Thank you.